Hello once again. This session is just a continuation of the general and technical specifications where I mentioned that I'm going to show this template of the learning activity sheet that would also serve as template. We can see here the modifications to enhance the last, and then so allow me to now walk you through the pages and pinpoint to you the elements. So you can see here, this is the front page, the title page, showing you the violator, the government property not for sale, and where it is positioned. The specifications for the position, the size are found in the general and technical specifications. So we have here the learning area and the grade level as part of the learning resource title, part of the last title. Then below it is the quarter number, and then after the quarter number is the week number. And for the K to 3 materials, of which we have to specify the mother tongue of that learning area, then that follows under the week number. So for example, after week 5, there will be like Sinugbuan ng Binisaya or Sinurigaw nun. That is for K to 3 materials. Then we could also see the visuals and graphics included to enhance the last. So this is an original illustration by Marieto Cleben Lusada, our illustrator in the division. And I did this graphics last using Canva. And here's the development and quality assurance team, the names of the developer, evaluator, then learning area supervisor. If there's a need to include the illustrator, then you can adjust. You can include the name of the illustrator. Then we have here the illustration credits. This should be maintained. And then we have the disclaimer that runs in all the pages. I'm going to zoom it out for a clearer. Okay. It says here that this learning activity sheet or LAS is based from the learner's materials, textbooks, and teaching guides released by DepEd Central Office. Furthermore, utilization of duly acknowledged external resources is purely of non-profit for educational use and constitutes fair use. All rights reserved. So even though we have this disclaimer at the bottom of all the pages, still we have to observe copyright ethics in the development phase. Like we have to include in-text citations, we have to carefully place the sources in the references. Then we have here the competency and objectives, our curriculum essentials, no? Competency and objectives, and these are the visual cues assigned to these elements of the LAS, the visual cues. So competency, and then the statement of the objectives in KSA form, then the learner's task, no? We have also a visual cue assigned to the learner's task. Then under learner's task, we have the lesson overview, and you notice the pages of the learner's materials, the material is indicated. And you have noticed also the difference in the first template of the last during the during the second quarter. The template of the last introduced was in a tabular form, indicating the indicating the day-to-day schedule of the learner. Like we have a column for day 1, day 2, day 3, but this time uh, it's going to be flexible. Uh, it depends now on the learner, and for lower key stages, for the learning aids to provide no technical to provide assistance, I mean, to the learner within that week, for as long as this class is designed for 1 week. So we have the lesson overview, uh, instead of just indicating the pages, we 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 have the content itself included in the LAS. So for example, this lesson, we have ultra radiation, and then some uses of UV radiation. So these are from the learner's material. And then there's activity number 1. This is for the knowledge objective. And activity number 2 for the skill objective. And then activity number 3 for the affective domain or the attitude. Now, this is an example of in-text citation. No, uh, the the selection entitled "Dangers and Uses of Radiation" were taken from an online source, and so it has to be placed there. And then, aside from being placed as in-text citation, that should also be found in the referencing part. Now, this is not to box the sample LAS to having something like this in activity number 3. This is just a context of the developer to include a borrowed selection from an external source because it is deemed necessary. The developer find it, let's say, the ones found in the learning material is not enough to cater to the affective domain. So it's the option now of the developer to find another material such as this one, dangers and uses of radiation, to draw out from the learner the affective domain. But then again, this is just an example. So what I mean is, during the lesson overview, it could be already a package in that portion. If it could be a package, if it encompasses all the KSA domains, then that is also good. Anyway, this is just one example, and the rest of the learning areas will also be providing model LASes for your reference. So this is just an example for activity 3. And then we have the formative test. The formative test which do not have answer key. No? As indicated in the general and technical specifications, this element of the LAS should not have an answer key. So it is a maximum of 5-item formative test. And then activity number 1, 2, and 3 will have answers key provided to monitor self-progress, diba? That's the major keyword which is indicated also in the technical and general specifications. So we have here the answers key. And then of course, the reference part. So I guess that's all. And again, thank you for your commitment para sa bata.